The young are often impulsive. The old are often cautious. The young are like tender sprouts emerging after a spring rain, lush, brimming with life, eager to stretch swiftly toward the light. In their eyes, every path is walkable, every mountain scalable, so they step quickly, sometimes hurriedly, sometimes clumsily, sometimes recklessly. This impulsiveness is both a flaw and a strength, for it fuels the courage to act, to try, to fail. The old are like ancient trees that have weathered countless storms. They no longer chase fleeting lightning, but learn to listen to the wind, to read the clouds, and foresee the coming storm. Each step they take is slower but steadier, like a seasoned sailor who knows when to hoist the sails and when to drop anchor. Their caution is the fruit of past stumbles, of lessons etched into memory. Thus, these words do not merely highlight the difference between youth and age, but paint a complete circle of human life. Youth gives us the flame to begin. Age gives us the lamp to light the way. If the impulsiveness of youth could blend with the caution of age, we would embark on a journey both bold and enduring. Humility is the solid foundation of all virtues. Humility is like fertile soil, quietly lying beneath, yet nourishing an entire forest of moral values. A person may be intelligent, talented, brave, or kind, but without humility, those qualities easily turn to arrogance or showiness. Humility tames the ego, enabling one to listen, to recognize their limits, and to keep learning and growing. It is like the sturdy foundation of a house. The stronger it is, the more enduring the structure. The deeper it is, the higher the building can rise. Thus, every noble virtue must be sown in the soil of humility to truly blossom and bear fruit over time. Talent may lift you to great heights, but character is what keeps you steady there. A metaphor of wings and feet. Talent is like the wings of an eagle, carrying one soaring to dazzling peaks. But at those heights, winds are fierce, and clouds often shroud the way. Without steadfast character, one may stumble, like a person on a cliff with no firm footing. Character is the steady feet, the solid rock that maintains balance, clarity, and dignity. Thus, the peak is not just a place to reach, but a place to stand firm and live worthily. Wisdom tells us what we must do, while virtue gives us the strength to do it. A harmonious blend of the mind's light and the heart's strength. Wisdom is like a lamp illuminating the path, showing the right way and the pitfalls to avoid. But that light is meaningless if the feet refuse to walk. And virtue is the inner strength, the resolute will that drives us to act on what we see. If wisdom grants us far-reaching vision, virtue gives us enduring strength. So the journey begins with understanding and ends with value. We cherish someone not for what we do for them or what they do for us, but for their inherent values and virtues. The essence of genuine affection. True love is not a transaction, nor a calculation of gains and losses. It is like warm sunlight falling on flowers, not expecting repayment, but shining, simply because that is its nature. When we cherish someone for their dignity and noble qualities, that affection becomes steadfast and pure, transcending all conditions or circumstances. The greatest virtues are often those most useful to others. A person's worth lies not in display, but in the ability to spread benefit. Kindness is like a river, great not for its breadth alone, but for nourishing the fields along its banks. Patience, honesty, and selflessness are the same. They become noble because they ease pain, ignite trust, and uplift others in times of hardship. A virtue is truly great only when it reaches beyond oneself, becoming a gift to the world. Gratitude is not only the greatest virtue, but also the parent of all others, a root that nourishes an entire forest. When one is grateful, they learn humility, for they understand that success is not theirs alone. Gratitude fosters kindness, for those who value help received are ready to give goodness in return. Gratitude also sows patience, forgiveness, and honesty, the branches of the tree of character. Thus, gratitude is the foundation, the wellspring that nurtures and sustains all noble qualities. No matter how beautiful the exterior, it cannot replace the value within. Outer beauty is like the cover of a book. It may catch the eye, but does not determine its true worth. A radiant flower may wilt in days, but its gentle fragrance lingers in memory. Likewise, character, integrity, and inner values are the core that make a person enduring. Outer beauty draws attention, but only inner beauty holds the heart. How you were born matters less than how you live. A person's true worth lies not in their origins, circumstances, or starting point. One may be born in poverty or lack, but the way they choose to live with resolve, kindness, and aspiration shapes their dignity. Like a seed, it matters not whether it falls on rocky or fertile ground, but whether it rises, blooms, and brings beauty to the world. Starting points may differ, but how we live determines our destination. The strong are those who can conquer their own bad habits. The greatest strength lies not in muscles or power, but in self-mastery. Bad habits are like invisible ropes, wrapping around us daily, tightening with time. The truly strong are not those who defeat others, but those with the persistence and will to untangle their own knots. For conquering oneself is always the hardest, yet most noble victory. A calm heart brings peace to all things, simple yet profound, like a drop of water settling in a lake. When the heart is still, we face life's turmoil with serenity, no longer frantic amid the storm. The heart is like a mirror. When the dust is wiped away, the world appears clear. Likewise, when the heart is at peace, even the most tangled matters find a way. A tranquil heart is the foundation for a steady and harmonious life. Though life may be murky or clear, the heart remains a pure pink lotus. The purity and pride of the lotus rising from muddy waters, yet retaining its radiant essence. Life is full of murk, hardship, and temptation, but a bright heart can still smile and shine like a lotus in a stagnant pond. The pink lotus is a symbol of resilience, purity, and serenity, reminding us that true beauty is untainted by adversity, shining brighter for overcoming it. Over 100 years, hair turns gray, but the heart's light endures through time, a vivid portrait of human life. Time may steal youth, alter faces, and whiten hair, but it cannot dim a radiant heart. The heart is like a lamp in the long night, quietly shining, leaving warmth in others' souls despite the years. Thus, a life's true value lies not in years or appearance, but in the light of the soul that lingers through time. A serene heart sees through the three realms. A single hearty laugh warms the earth and sky. When the soul is at ease, one transcends the chains of fame and gain. Wisdom opens, and life's truths are clear, like standing atop a peak, watching clouds drift and breezes pass. And a simple smile, though humble, spreads warmth, melting the cold and making the world feel close and kind. That is the power of a free spirit, at ease within oneself, generous toward life. Open your heart and serenity follows. Live with joy and freedom, unburdened, a state of living, free and light. When the heart is no longer closed by selfishness, envy, or worry, it feels vast as the sky after rain, clear and boundless. This serenity brings joy, letting us walk through life unweighed by burdens. Living freely is not abandoning all, but keeping a peaceful heart amid life's ups and downs. We often blame life for its flaws. Why not perfect our own hearts instead? A profound self-reflection. We often fault life for unfairness or others for imperfection, yet our own hearts are sharp with edges, prejudice, and discontent. Life is a mirror. What the heart holds, the world reflects. If we shape our hearts to be full and forgiving, the world becomes more harmonious and beautiful. For life's fulfillment begins with the fullness of the heart. Talent may make one shine, but without a pure heart, that brilliance can become a fire that consumes both self and others. The root of all goodness sprouts from the heart, and a virtuous heart is the foundation that elevates talent to nobility and usefulness. For a kind heart is worth more than a treasury of intellect. A thatched hut with a simple door, living at ease, free from right or wrong. The heart is calm and unbound, a portrait of a tranquil and serene life. Though the hut is humble, it holds deep peace, untouched by the clamor of fame or gain. When the heart is free from rivalry or judgment, it opens wide like a cool breeze on the porch. That is true freedom, where simplicity becomes richness and peace dwells in every daily breath. One plants a fruit tree for others to enjoy. We plant virtue for generations to come, a vivid image of sowing for life. A fruit tree offers shade, blossoms, and sweet fruit for people today. But the tree of virtue, though unseen, casts a lasting shade for future generations to cherish. Planting virtue means nurturing kindness, sincerity, and goodness values that endure through time and ripple across ages. Thus, sowing a seed of virtue today is leaving a forest of peace for tomorrow. Live kindly, and goodness follows. The virtuous are blessed by heaven. A simple yet profound belief in the justice of the heavens. Those who live with kindness and virtue sow seeds in fertile fields sooner or later. They bloom and bear sweet fruit. Blessings may not come instantly, but they quietly build, offering unseen hands to lift us in times of trouble. Thus, kindness is the bridge to peace, a treasure more enduring than worldly wealth. Dear ones, live with goodness, cultivate virtue to store for the future. A heartfelt, simple admonition, living kindly and upright, brings peace today and sows blessings for tomorrow. Each good deed, each compassionate heart is an invisible coin, gathering into a treasure for future generations. For virtue never fades. It only waits to bloom, bringing a harvest of sweetness for us or our descendants. Let these wise words about virtue sink deep into the heart. Feel them like a cool stream nourishing character, quiet but steadfast, growing ever clearer as it flows. Virtue is the root of a person, like roots deep in the earth, invisible yet sustaining a flourishing canopy. A person with talent but no virtue is like a grand ship without a rudder, easily swayed by life's storms. But one with virtue, though ordinary, shines like a lotus in the mud. Thus, these sayings about virtue are not just to read, but to reflect on, to keep the heart upright, and to sow blessings for the future. Earth can raise mighty walls, but virtue builds a solid foundation for the soul, a contrast of the material and the spiritual. Earth, though firm, builds only walls for protection, a mere outer shell, but virtue is the inner foundation, quietly upholding every action and choice. A person, however talented or wealthy, without virtue sways in life's storms, but with virtue, challenges are but tests, and the soul remains steadfast and radiant. This proves that spiritual worth outlasts all material gain. Compassion is the bedrock of morality, a steadfast mountain, yet soft in the soul. When one empathizes, stepping into another's shoes, they build fairness, kindness, and compassion in every act. Compassion is like the roots of a great tree, unseen yet nourishing every branch of morality, keeping one steady through life's tempests. Thus, a life rich in virtue cannot lack a heart that feels and shares. Compared to wealth, morality and talent are far more precious. A person's true value is not measured by money or possessions. Talent is like wings lifting us high, while morality is the compass guiding each step true and steady. A wealthy person without virtue or skill may fall at any moment, but one with talent and morality creates lasting impact, building a life not just for themselves, but for others. That is the true treasure, surpassing all material worth. Virtue is shown through actions, not words. A person's true worth lies in deeds, not promises or boasts. Virtue is like clear water. It needs no proclamation, yet the thirsty feel its purity at once. Words may fade, but kind, sincere, and just actions leave a mark, spreading and lingering in others' hearts. Thus, to live virtuously, don't just speak, act. Every small deed, every quiet gesture builds immense strength. Love is the seed of virtue, a living sprout born from the human heart. Sowing love nurtures kindness, empathy, and forgiveness qualities that form enduring virtue. This tiny seed, tended with action and sincerity, grows into a tree of morality, sheltering life and shading others. Love is the starting point, the foundation for all virtues to flourish. Over time, beauty may fade, but virtue endures forever. The lasting worth of the soul over fleeting appearances. Beauty is like a flower blooming brightly at dawn, vibrant but quick to wither. Virtue is a quiet light, guiding and enduring, untouched by time's erosion. A person with virtue leaves a deep mark on others' hearts, wielding strength and influence beyond life's changes. Thus, investing in virtue is the truest, most noble choice. Don't waste time debating what makes a virtuous person become one, the power of action over words. Instead of arguing or judging others, the key is to turn ideals into reality in your own life. Virtue is like a candle. Rather than debating its light, light it yourself and shine. By living sincerely, kindly, and responsibly, you become a living model of values others only discuss. Virtue is the strength to choose and act rightly, even when it's hard. Virtue is like a steady compass in the soul. When facing trials, temptations, or hardships, virtue guides us true, keeping the heart upright and resolute. It is like a silent wind lifting the sails, carrying the ship through great waves without drifting. Thus, virtue is not just a beautiful trait, but an inner strength for living rightly and nobly. Happiness comes not from material gain or wealth, but from integrity and prudence. True happiness springs from within, not from external things. Integrity lets us live true to our conscience, serene amid any challenge. Prudence helps us navigate life without falling into error or regret. It's like steady feet on a rugged path. No need to rush, but each step is sure. Thus, wealth may come and go, but integrity and prudence bring lasting, deep joy. Morality is simply our attitude toward those we dislike. Character is tested in the toughest moments. When faced with someone we don't like, it's easy to grow angry, envious, or unfair. But maintaining respect, kindness, and calm, that is the true mark of morality. It's like light shining through darkness. Not always easy, but when sustained, its worth endures. Morality, then, is not theory, but action amid challenge. Humans cannot live like animals. We must pursue knowledge and virtue, the noble essence of humanity compared to other creatures. Living by instinct alone is mere existence, not value. Knowledge opens horizons of understanding, while virtue shapes the soul and guides us to rightful action. Together, they are like a guiding light, giving life meaning, elevating existence, and leaving a lasting mark of goodness. Dear ones, live with goodness. Cultivate virtue to store for the future, a simple yet profound call to live with kindness. Living kindly and justly brings peace today and plants blessings for tomorrow. Each good deed, each selfless heart is an unseen seed growing into a treasure for future generations. For virtue never fades, it only waits to bloom, bringing sweetness to us or our descendants.